Hey, what's going on, wrestling fans? My name is Brian Crazy. You're watching my brand, that from brand of wrestling and entertainment here on YouTube.com and the World Wide Web. Since 2010, proudly providing you with the wrestling news, reviews, rumors, insights that you're growing accustomed to. And you saw this hell of this video. I am back with my TNA Impact Wrestling review for May 9th, 2013. TNA is live from Tupelo, Mississippi. And we start off the night with Kurt Angle and Sting in the ring. And they want AJ Styles' answer. Is he going to stand by their side, or is he going to side with the Aces and Eights? Will he be the third man in that big tag team match later on? The Aces and Eights versus Kurt Angle, Sting, and whoever the third man will be. And they are looking for AJ Styles to be that third man. Kurt Angle is straight to the point. He wants an answer. He has no time for bullshitting, and he gets right up in AJ's face. Sting decides to take a little more diplomatic of an approach, but, this is where Kurt Angle screws up, because Sting almost looked like he had him roped in, almost looked like he had him convinced. He had the crowd behind him. He was convincing him this is the house that AJ Styles built. You could really see the look in AJ's face. He was almost convinced. Sting likened him to the character that he was back in WCW, the guy that hit up in the rafters. And, it was just a great segment, but then Kurt Angle blows it. Just as Sting looks like he has this done, Kurt Angle gets right back up in his face. AJ ends up walking away. These two guys end up brawling right by the entrance ramp. And then we end up seeing AJ Styles backstage, and he's asked, what's going to happen? What's going on? And he ends up just walking out of the building in disgust. Then we go into tag team action, Knockouts tag team action. Mickie James and Velvet Sky end up picking up the win over Tara and Gail Kim. This was a quick match, but it got the job done, and it really set up the segment that happened in the post-match. Gail Kim ends up attacking her tag team partner Tara, and Gail Kim has just become so much more vicious over the last few weeks. Taryn Terrell just really got under her skin, and we saw last week she attacked Taryn Terrell with the figure four on the corner post, and this week Tara suffered a similar fate. Then we go backstage with the Aces and Eights, and D'Lo Brown comes walking up. He said, I didn't know that there was a meeting, and Bully Ray said, well, you didn't know about the meeting that's about to happen in the ring. So we're about to see something happen involving D'Lo, the Aces and Eights, and I'm really hoping that it's, not a swerve. I'm thinking in my head before the segment happens, I hope they don't go out and just end up giving him forgiveness. We need something big. This storyline needs something big to happen at this point in time. Then we go backstage, we see TNA's Bad Influence, and they approach James Storm. They want to try to sway him in their favor tonight. He is the referee for that big tag team match that they're involved in. They end up giving him a case of beer. They're trying to convince him to be on his side. And then we go into the ring. The Aces and Eights end up taking away D'Lo's vest. They end up punishing him, and they end up regulating him to basically a prospect within the group. Basically, he is regulated to washing bikes, delivering beer, and running errands. D'Lo wants to redeem himself. He wants to face Magnus, but Bully Ray says no. Doc will end up facing Magnus, and he wants D'Lo to sit by the timekeeper and watch the match. Watch Doc be successful over Magnus, and he tries to get involved in this match. He tries to redeem himself by helping Doc pick up the win, but he does the exact opposite. He ends up costing Doc this match. Magnus picks up the win, and then we roll into backstage where we see the Aces and Eights. They have caught D'Lo. They have him, laying down on top of a case, and Bully's about to crush his skull in with the hammer. This is where Anderson goes, whoa, he might be able to be useful for something, and that's where he's regulated to being just a prospect. He says, the bikes, the beers, this, that, or the other. I thought this was a great segment. I really like how it played off. I really like how it showed the vicious side of the Aces and Eights. And I really feel like regulating D'Lo Brown to less prominent of a position is probably the right thing to do. It makes me question, in the long run, the guy that gave them the inside access, the guy that helped build this group, will so easily be disposed just due to a loss in a match. But in the same right, I think it's the right thing to do. I really just don't feel like he's a great fit for the storyline. I think most of the guys involved in the Aces and Eights are very believable. You can really believe them, playing these roles. I think the most successful roles are when the guys are being themselves, an extension of their own personalities. And I feel like D'Lo Brown is just a little too forced. I know D'Lo Brown played a heel for years, but we're talking, the late 1990s when he was involved in the Nation of Domination. And, 15 years later, rehashing some things just don't work. Rehashing some things do work. It all depends on the particular superstar, the storyline, the promotion, the setting, this, that, or the other. There's so many variables that go into that. So then we go another backstage segment. Hulk and Sting are talking about who is going to be the third man. Hulk Hogan offers himself, but Sting says, you know what, you're not medically cleared to compete. There's no way you can get in the ring against these guys. And they talk about Magnus. They both agreed that Magnus is the future, and Magnus should be the guy that steps up and takes that spot in the match. Then we see Austin Aries and Robert Roode. They also approach James Storm. They're trying to sway him in his favor. And then we go right into the tag team match. Austin Aries and Robert Roode versus TNA's Bad Influence, with James Storm as the special guest referee. The match ends up concluding with Austin Aries ends up spitting beer in Daniel's face. He ends up taunting Storm. Storm won't count the pinfall, but he goes for the last call. He accidentally hits Daniels and refuses to count the fall for Aries. Then he ends up hitting Aries with the last call and walking out. This match goes to a no contest. Then we go backstage. We see the Aces and Eights attacking Magnus. And then we see a video package hyping the return of Suicide. Suicide was a great character. He was portrayed by so many different wrestlers in TNA wrestling. And I'm really curious who's going to be behind the mask this time. I wonder if it's going to be Frankie Kazarian or if it's going to be another superstar. Then we go into another promo. And this is absolutely one of the best promos of the night. One of the first promos of the new X Division, if not the first promo of the new X Division. We have Kenny King and Chris Sabin squaring off. And, I mean, this is just great. Kenny King is just really trying to get under Sabin's skin. He ends up, passing him the title. Sabin goes to return. He tosses it to him, clocks him. We end up getting a little confrontation, a little brawl. And this is just teasing us towards the match next week. Three-way X Division match. Kenny King will defend against Chris Sabin and Petey Williams. I'm really looking forward to that one. Then we see James Storm attack backstage. We don't know who attacked him, but we see Bad Influence and Austin Aries and Bobby Roode standing around with agents, with all of them separated. Then we get a hype for the Bound for Glory series, and we also find out that a gut check competitor for the very first time will get an opportunity to compete in the Bound for Glory series. Sam Shaw, Christian York, Alex Silva, and Jay Bradley will compete in a four-way tournament for that spot in the Bound for Glory series. And then we see Hogan and Sting backstage one more time. And Hogan's trying to get in touch with that wild card. And I was really hoping that wasn't going to be Rob the Freak Terry. I like Rob Terry. I like that Rob Terry's going to be pushed. I think Rob Terry's a very agile big man. I think he could do great things in the business. But I was really hoping that would be somebody different. And I think it was a shame Magnus getting attacked earlier, because I really felt like he could have been that third man. But it's set up for the return of who the third man ended up being. You saw the title of the video. It gave it away. Guys, during this match, it was an absolutely phenomenal main event. And we see the Monster Abyss. He returns. He joins the side of Sting and Angle. He helps defeat the Aces and Eights, Bully Ray, Devon, Mr. Anderson. And why this match is going on, before Abyss even comes out, we see the remainder of the Aces and Eights, minus the three men that are involved in the match, attack backstage. And you don't know who did it. And then once, Abyss comes out, it's all clear that Abyss, the monster, came back. He cleared out the Aces and Eights. He comes into the ring. Bam. Puts one through a table. Ends up hitting the Black Hole Slam on Devon. 1, 2, 3. Picks up the win. And the monster has returned to TNA Wrestling. I really want to know how they're going to fit this into the Joseph Park storyline. Obviously, we know the same person, Chris Park, is portraying Joseph Park and the Monster Abyss. I'm really wondering, because in the past when Joseph Park would end up bleeding, that's when he would show the tendencies of being Abyss. When he saw his own blood, that's where we see the Black Hole Slams, this, that, or the other. Joseph Park wasn't attacked on tonight's episode. There really wasn't anything with Joseph Park, and I really would have liked to see that. Maybe Park got brutally beat down and then Abyss came back. I think that would have been a real nice lean-in, but I'm really curious, where has Abyss been? Is there going to be any sort of explanation, or is the monster just back to help kick the Aces and Eights ass and be alongside his TNA brothers? I want to know your guys' thoughts. I want to know your guys' feedback, and I want you to drop it below. But as you can tell, I really enjoyed tonight's episode of TNA Impact Wrestling, and I hope you guys enjoyed it as well. I hope you guys enjoyed this review, and whatever your opinions are, if you liked it or if you didn't like it, that is up to you, but it is also up to you to drop those comments below so you can share it with all of us. We can't wait to hear your feedback. For the F and Brand, like I said, I'm Brian Crazy. Have a great night and a safe early morning commute.